Hi, Miss Jones. This is my ComSci 20A final project. So let's get right into it. This is a tic-tac-toe game, and I didn't really want to be like all the other tic-tac-toe games for my project, where there's two users and they go back and forth inputting moves until someone has won, because that's boring, right? So I made a bot that randomly generates a spot on the board, and then you get to play against it as a user. So you'll need one user and you play against a bot that randomly picks spots on the board for you to play against. So here at the beginning, it's pretty simple. We have welcome to tic-tac-toe, get three in a row to win. Right. So right away, I instantiate these two classes, which is the move class and the random class, first of all, and then we print the board. So my tic-tac-toe board is based off a 2D array. There's one array in the 2D array for each row. So there's three arrays, right? And then they each correspond to each row. So I've created a method called printBoard here. So every time I want to print the board, I can call in this method, and this is a double for loop that will essentially print the board. It will print each row on the board on separate lines. So this will print row one, row two, row three. The loop will just print a line, the row you want, and then the line three times. So it will just print out the board, right? So the bulk of my code is in this while loop. So this is a while true loop, which essentially means that this loop will be infinitely running until I say otherwise, right? So until I return, this loop will go on infinitely. So the there's three possibilities in tic-tac-toe, right? It's either the user can win, the bot can win, or you can tie, which means the board is full and there's no moves left to be made and no one has won the game, so it's a tie. So the first method I use is the board.makeYourMove method. So this method is obviously the user input method section, right? So this method make your move, it's a while true loop, just like the game itself. So essentially call it will it will reference this is empty method, which essentially checks is the spot on the board this, which means it's empty and it's not occupied by either an X or an O, it will return true, right? So while true, system.out.println input a row and input column. So there's two scanners here. It'll take a row input and a column input, right? So it'll check if is empty, if is empty is true, it will go the row input and the column input you want minus one, which will be the index of the array you want. So it will be board row input minus one, column minus one equals zero. So it will replace the empty spot with an O. I mean, not a zero. I mean, it's sorry. So it's an O. So string O is this. So we'll replace the empty box with that. Right. So we go back here and right after the user inputs a move, my program instantly checks whether a winner has been found or not. So we see here if the winner equals no winner, and the winner is obviously board.winner, right? So the winner method is public string winner, right? So there's eight possibilities in tic-tac-toe. You can go across three ways, like you can get three in a row in the rows three ways, three in a row in the columns three ways, or you can go diagonally two different ways, right? So I wrote a for loop for the rows and the columns here. So this goes through for the row one, it'll go through each separate array, row zero, row one, row two, and then it will make sure that if board whatever whatever row it is, as long as it's consistent, zero equals one and board one two, right? So it's equal these two things, and and it's not empty, right? It will return whichever spot on the board that you got it on. So whichever it's either the user or the bot, it will return either the X or the O if someone got three in a row. So there's a for loop to check the winner for the rows and the columns. And over here, I just wrote two separate if statements for the diagonals because you can't really write a for loop for those. It's kind of weird with how the arrays work with each other, and how they relate to each other. So I just wrote two separate two separate if statements for that. So if the program goes through and none of these conditions have been met, none of these if statements have been met, then it will return no winner. So returning no winner basically says there's no winner. So if there is no winner, right? If the winner is not equals no winner, which means there is a winner, right? It will print the board and then print out the winner. And the winner will be, of course, equal to which one of these strings over here, and then I replaced the lines with nothing, which is the box, obviously, with nothing. So because we don't really want that. And they'll end the loop return. Now, if the user has made a move and has not gone 3 in a row, has not won the game, the program will move on to the next step, which is the bot. So board.bot over here. So board.bot essentially it calls on the random class and it will say it has two variables. So there's two random numbers between 0 and 2, which is the index for the array. Now the bot will check is empty. If the spot is empty, as in if the spot that you chose, that the random number generator chose, so it'll choose one number between 0 and 2 and another number for 0 2 and input it into this, right? Now, if the spot on the board is empty, then it will make that spot an X and then return the loop. Otherwise, it'll try again, right? Because it's a while true loop. So here we see that board.bot and they'll print the board. So here it at the beginning it you make your move. It checks whether there's a winner or not. If the user has not won, then it will go onto the bot. It will print the bot, and the same concept. It will print the board after the bot move, right? The same concept here. If the bot has won, it'll check if the bot has won. If it has, then it will print out that the bot has won. Otherwise, it will start looping again, right? And now this will this is another if statement just to make sure that it isn't a tie, right? So the board is full method over here. This checks if the board is full, obviously. So if every spot, if no spot on the board is basically okay, if no spot on the board is equal to this, it essentially means every spot is occupied with either an X or an O. So if that is if that is true, then it will return true. And you go back here, and then board is full is true, and then it will it will print tie because every spot on the board is filled and there's no room for the user to make input. It will tie, and of course, no one has gone 3 in a row. So this while true loop will just keep on looping until someone has won or until there's a tie. So I'll just test out. I'll just do one run through for you. So here we go. Welcome to tic-tac-toe, get 3 in a row to win. So I'm gonna do row 1, column 1. Let's see, row 3, column 1. Oh, then we can do row 1, column 2. Ooh, looks like the bot beat me this time. So the winner is X, right? So here we see the user input, which would be the board.makeYourMove method, and then it prints the board. Of course, checks no one has won here. It will ask again. So you'll make a move, and the bot will make a move, and still no one has won. And then it loops one more time and says you make a move. The bot made a move this time, and it actually won the game. There's 3 in a row, and the winner is X. And then it will return and end the while loop. So that's basically my entire program. I'm sorry if I stuttered a bit in my words, but that's about the bulk of it. Um, yeah, thank you for teaching me this term, and I look forward to working with you next term.